Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. New Delhi rules out bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Imran Khan on sidelines of upcoming SCO Summit. RBI slashes repo rate by 25 basis points in its bi-monthly monetary policy review. Industry bodies welcome the decision. In Telangana, 12 Congress MLAs join ruling TRS. Political crisis in Sudan deepens. Pro-democracy leaders to continue civil disobedience. Still ruling military council is ousted. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Australia set a victory target of 289 runs for West Indies at Trent Bridge. India today ruled out any bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Imran Khan on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Summit at Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan. This was stated by External Affairs Ministry spokesman Ravish Kumar while replying to a media query in New Delhi. He reiterated that India is firm on its stand that talks and terror cannot go together.
जो पाकिस्तान की तरफ से हमने रिपोर्ट सुने हैं, देखे हैं कि काफी कुछ किया जा रहा है, लेकिन ये ध्यान में रखने वाली बात है कि जो वो स्टेप्स कर रहे हैं, जो हमारी जो डिमांड है कि वो इरिवर्सिबल है या नहीं, और ये जो स्टेप्स हो रहा है वो सिर्फ दिखावा के लिए है या जेन्युइन एक एक्शन है टेररिज्म के खिलाफ, और उनके जो देश में टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जो वहां पर लोग खुलेआम घूम रहे हैं, उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लेने लायक है या नहीं. पाकिस्तान को अब दे विल हैव टू वॉक द टॉक, व्हाट दे हैव बीन सेइंग फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. आई थिंक दे विल हैव टू डू इट नाउ.
Mr. Modi will attend the SCO annual summit in Bishkek on the 13th and 14th of this month. The spokesman said External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will embark on a 2-day visit to Bhutan from tomorrow.
This will be External Affairs Minister's first visit abroad as EAM, and it reflects the importance that India attaches to its bilateral relationship with Bhutan, a close friend and a neighbor. During the visit, Honorable Minister is expected to receive audience with His Majesty the King. He will call on Leonchen Dr. Lote Tshering, Prime Minister of Bhutan, and also meet his counterpart, Lempo Dr. Tandi Dorje, Foreign Minister of Bhutan.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today reviewed defence acquisition issues with senior officials of the ministry. During a meeting, he was briefed about the defence procurement procedures, budget utilisation, major procurements and challenges therein. The present status of procurements and payments were also briefed, along with implications of major deals with the country. Mr. Singh directed the officials to seek indigenous solutions for meeting the force's requirements to the extent possible. According to an official release, the minister was briefed regarding defence cooperation activities with friendly foreign countries and planning activities of the Armed Forces and Defence Cyber Agency. Mr. Singh also discussed the policy matters pertaining to defence diplomacy, including bilateral exercises, capacity building, training and material assistance to friendly foreign countries. In Jammu and Kashmir, one unidentified terrorist was killed by security forces during an ongoing encounter at Panjran Lasipura in Pulwama district. Security sources said the body of the terrorist along with one rifle has been recovered from the encounter site. Details are awaited. The Reserve Bank of India in its bi-monthly monetary policy review today reduced the repo rate by 25 basis points to 5.75% from 6% with immediate effect. Consequently, the reverse repo rate stands adjusted to 5.50% and the marginal standing facility rate and the bank rate to 6%. The 6-member Monetary Policy Committee, headed by RBI Governor Shaktikant Das, also unanimously decided to change the stance of monetary policy from neutral to accommodative. Talking to AIR, Chief Economist of PhD Chamber of Commerce, S.P. Sharma termed the move as a positive step.
This is a very good move to boost the economic growth trajectory and to revitalize the economic growth. As the economy is facing liquidity problems, so at this juncture it becomes inevitable to provide adequate liquidity to the system. And moreover, the growth of MSMEs and growth of NBFCs is also very crucial for the overall growth trajectory of the Indian economy. So I believe NBFCs are at this juncture should be looked after for the liquidity purpose because they fund the MSME sector and the various infrastructure projects in India. So majorly the MSMEs are dependent on the NBFCs. So at this juncture, providing a good support to the NBFCs becomes very, very important for the overall growth of the economy.
Taking into account the weak global demand due to the escalation in trade wars and weakened private consumption in rural areas, Mr. Das informed that the RBI has lowered the GDP growth forecast for 2019-20 to 7% from 7.2%. With a view to boost digital transactions, RBI has decided to do away with charges levied on RTGS and NEFT transactions, and banks will be required to pass this benefit to their customers. The next meeting of the MPC is scheduled during August 5th to 7th. Industry bodies have welcomed the RBI decision of reducing the repo rate by 25 basis points. President of FICCI, Sandeep Somani, said this rate cut will encourage banks to lower their lending rates for both retail and corporate credits. He said reviving business confidence and consumer confidence in the economy is the need of the hour. ASSOCHAM President Mr. B.K. Goenka said the measures will rekindle economic growth and improve business sentiments. The BSE benchmark Sensex today plunged around 1.5%, dragged down by losses in banking, energy and capital goods stocks, even as the RBI cut the policy rate to shore up growth. A report.
Benchmark domestic indices logged biggest one-day fall this year. Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange plunged 554 points to end below 40,000 mark at 39,530. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also declined 178 points to settle under 12,000 level at 11,844. The Indian rupee also weakened 2 paise at 69 rupees and 28 against the US dollar. And Brent crude prices in intraday trade were trading around $60.90 per barrel. Lalema Aneja Dang with Sanjeev Kumar Singh, AIR News.
The Indian Air Force search operation to locate the missing AN-32 aircraft continued today. Meanwhile, the area of search has been expanded and more assets, including smaller and more maneuverable helicopters like Cheetah, have been included in the rescue mission to approach areas inaccessible by bigger helicopters or individuals on foot. The search will continue through the night. The aircraft with 13 people on board lost contact with ground agencies after taking off from Jorhat Air Base in Assam on Monday. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. The Telangana State Assembly has notified the merger of defecting group of 12 Congress members of the State Legislative Assembly into the ruling Telangana Rashtra Samiti TRS. Speaker of State Legislative Assembly Oshuram Srinivasa Reddy, in the bulletin released this evening, stated that the 12 members of the Congress party who had submitted a letter seeking the merger are deemed to have been merged with the TRS from today. With this, the strength of the Congress party in the Assembly came down to 6 from 18, losing main opposition party status. Earlier in the day, the 12 Congress MLAs submitted a letter with their signatures and said they are interested to work with Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Expressing dissent over the merger proposal of Congress legislators group into TRS, PCC President N. Uttam Kumar Reddy and other senior Congress leaders launched a sit-in protest near the Gandhi statue on the premises of the Assembly. The PCC President accused the ruling TRS of encouraging defections. Talking to media in New Delhi, party spokesman Pawan Khera described it as the murder of democracy. Hours after the first state cabinet meeting following the Lok Sabha elections, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh this evening rejigged the portfolios of most of the ministers. Barring 4 ministers, there are changes in the portfolios of all other ministers as a result of the reallocations, which the Chief Minister said would help further streamline the government systems and processes and bring more transparency and efficacy into the various departments. Captain Amrinder hoped the exercise would also re-energize his team and bring a freshness into the working of the major departments. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said the vehicular pollution will be reduced by 28 to 30% due to implementation of Bharat Stage 6 BS6 emission norms from next year. Mr. Javadekar was speaking at a World Environment Day function in New Delhi today.
दिल्ली में और बाकी सभी जगह भी
BS6 compliant vehicles will be available in Delhi and other places by 2020. We have invested more than 60,000 crore rupees for that. All the vehicle manufacturers have supported the initiative and it will bring down vehicular pollution by 28 to 30%.
आज 28-30% हिस्सा होता है वो एकदम कम होगा.
Mr. Javadekar also launched a 3-minute short film competition on air pollution for which the last date of entry is the 30th of September. Union Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs Hardeep Singh Puri today launched Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 League, which will be a quarterly cleanliness assessment of cities and towns. Speaking on the occasion in New Delhi, Mr. Puri said in the Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 League, parameters pertaining to wastewater treatment and reuse and fecal sludge management have been given special focus. The Swachh Bharat initiative of the government has led to reduced groundwater contamination. A study by the UNICEF said the substantial reductions may potentially be attributed to the improvement in sanitation and hygiene practices. It said supportive systems such as regular monitoring and behavior change messaging, which have all been critical aspects of the Swachh Bharat mission Grameen, also helped reduce groundwater contamination. In Sudan, pro-democracy leaders today pledged to press their campaign of civil disobedience until the ruling military council is ousted and killers of protesters are brought to justice. The pledge comes after new clashes brought the death toll in 3 days of military crackdown to 108. The Sudan Doctors Committee, one of the protest groups, said more than 500 have been injured in the crackdown. The crackdown began with the violent dispersal of the protest movement's main sit-in camp outside the military headquarters in the capital Khartoum on Monday. Meanwhile, the African Union, AU, has suspended Sudan and demanded a civilian-led transitional authority to resolve the bloody crisis in the country. The Sri Lankan Supreme Court today decided to appoint a 7-judge bench to consider fundamental rights petitions against Inspector General of Police IGP and former Defence Secretary for failing to act on the intelligence inputs about the Easter Sunday attacks. Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya decided that these petitions are of national importance and should be heard before a fuller bench. Earlier, the country's Attorney General had informed the court to consider the petition before a fuller bench. The petitions were filed by 7 parties, including the Sri Lanka Bar Association, accusing the IGP and the former Defence Secretary of infringing the fundamental rights of the people by failing to prevent the attacks, which killed 258 people, including 45 foreigners. The Union government will take up the matter with the International Olympic Committee, which has suspended India for hosting future international events. In a tweet, Sports Minister Trent Bridge said the matter will be sorted out and the government will take all possible steps to ensure that India is not deprived of hosting international events. The matter was discussed between Mr. Rijiju and Indian Olympic Association President Narendra Modi in New Delhi today. In the ICC Cricket World Cup match between West Indies and Australia is underway in Nottingham. Australia have set a 289-run victory target for the West Indies. Chasing the target, West Indies were 138 for 3 in 26 overs when reports last came in. Earlier, West Indies won the toss, sent in to bat. The Australians were in all sorts of trouble against the short-pitch deliveries unleashed by the West Indian fast bowlers who extracted a lot of bounce and seam movement initially from the Trent Bridge track. 8-time champions India rout Russia 10-0 in their opening match of the International Federation of Hockey Men's Series Finals, which began in Bhubaneswar today. Harmanpreet Singh and Akashdeep Singh scored braces as 6 others got on the score sheet. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. New Delhi rules out bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Imran Khan on sidelines of upcoming SCO Summit. RBI slashes repo rate by 25 basis points in its bi-monthly monetary policy review. Industry bodies welcome the decision. In Telangana, 12 Congress MLAs join ruling TRS. Political crisis in Sudan deepens. Pro-democracy leaders to continue civil disobedience till ruling military council is ousted. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Australia set a victory target of 289 runs for West Indies at Trent Bridge. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.